Hey everyone, my name is Liz and I am a revenue analyst at Kriya RevGEN. Today I'm going to be talking about a very exciting event coming up in the DFW area in the end of April. So back in October, it was announced that the 2018 NFL Draft would be hosted at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington. What's really exciting about this is that this is the first NFL Draft in history to actually be hosted at an NFL stadium. So really excited to see that. Compression in the market for this particular weekend. We don't really know exactly what we're going to expect for this weekend, but we know based off of past data from different cities that have hosted the NFL draft that it will bring in quite a bit of compression into the market. Especially for those first round draft picks. So this NFL draft will be occurring from the 26th to the 29th of April. I do manage 3 properties in the Grand Prairie area that's very close to the AT&T Stadium. One of them, which is much closer than the other 2, but all 3 are within a couple miles of the AT&T Stadium. So we'll be expecting a lot of compression here. So to protect the identity of my properties, I have blurred out their names just to protect our clients. But I really want to talk about the strategy and patterns that I've noticed across all 3 properties, because there is a little bit of differences here, really exciting differences, so I really want to get deep into that. So my first property, this is actually one of my newer properties in my portfolio. It is right next to the AT&T Stadium, so very, very close to it. So I am expecting to see much stronger pickup and much stronger opportunity to push ADR last minute given its prime location. But this property opened up officially in January, so has had a lot less time seeing pickup. So despite that, we have been seeing really strong pickup in the past couple weeks. Right now, my strategy is to keep Thursdays and Fridays much higher. So our advanced purchase rates are what you are seeing here of 135. We are shopping 159 for our standard king rooms, and we have a $20 upcharge for our doubles, which are much more valuable at this property. So that's mainly been my strategy. Is week over week, I've been looking at not just what we've been picking up, but where are we picking up? Is it retail? Is it coming through the OTAs? Are they king rooms that are booking? Are they queens? Because if we are seeing a lot of patterns and bookings coming in from a particular market segment, then I want to making sure that our rates are as high as we can for those market segments that are seeing that strong compression. But you can see here also that my comp set is shopping much higher, the 189, 199 range. The only reason why I'm keeping my rates a little bit lower is because we are a new property in the market, and even though we are the premier product, I want to focus as we're going through our soft opening and building that strong occupancy base. And like I said, week by week, if we're able to push another $10, $15 here and there until we get much closer to our immediate booking window, I'd rather start lower and build up further along than keeping our rates high and then dropping very last minute, which I do anticipate some of my properties comp sets to do. And that's a strategy that I don't want to follow, just because we don't want to teach our customer base to rely on just booking last minute, because they know they can get the best rate when properties drop rate same day. You can see here in the past week, I've had 4 to 6 rooms book pretty much right by bar for Saturday at 129, but our king rooms as well right by bar at 154 and 152. But king rooms are booking in the past week, which is really interesting. Really haven't seen many standard rooms come through, so really want to keep that in mind. We are picking up at bar, which is great, and if I continue to see this strategy in the next week or 2, then I'll be much more comfortable pushing our standard king rooms a little bit further. Next, I'm going to be looking at my second property. So my second property is much more established in the Grand Prairie market. You can see our rates are definitely much higher than the first property, but I've purposely have brought down my rates a little bit here just because we have 37 and 36 rooms available, so close to 40% occupancy on the books, but I really don't want to start pushing rate until we at least have 50% occupancy on the books. When the event was announced in October and we were seeing quite a bit of influx in bookings for this weekend, I initially had my rates at 199 in line with the comp set. I had min-stay restrictions. I closed out my employee rates, my friends and family, government, any low-rated pickup. A lot of yielding was done since this property is very dynamic in terms of negotiated accounts. So anything that was low rated, I don't want sneaking in for this particular weekend. So I did put my blackout dates. But we had stopped seeing pickup. Whereas some of my other properties were continuing to see more pickup that didn't have as strong restrictions. So I went ahead and opened it to kind of balance it out. Similar pattern to the first property, Thursday and Friday are pacing well with each other, pretty balanced, but Saturday and Sunday here are pacing further behind. So with this property, it is an extended stay property, so I am able to adjust more of the length of stay pricing. And I'm not just focusing on arrivals coming in Thursday or even Wednesday. I'm focusing a lot on arrivals coming in Monday, Tuesday, that could potentially be coming across Thursday and Friday. I do want to incentivize longer length of stays just because they will be spending more across the entire week. But I do want to make sure that my Thursday and Friday are at a premium if anyone is going to be staying across those dates. Any arrivals coming in Thursday, I am encouraging and incentivizing Thursday night or Thursday arrivals to stay across Sunday, just because the NFL draft is through Sunday. So I'm keeping my 3 and 4 night length of stays coming in on Thursday a little bit lower than my 1 and 2 night stays, just because 1 and 2 night stays are definitely much stronger. So anyone that's willing to stay 4 days, I'm willing to give a little bit of a discount to stay competitive against the comp set. But you can see my comp set here is pretty mixed. There are some properties shopping much lower. There are properties staying a little bit more in line with me, and properties like 199 plus. I do not agree with some of these rate strategies where they're shopping high across the board. I do anticipate their rates dropping, so I don't want to copy that pattern. I'd rather keep it a little bit lower, keep it more competitive for anyone that's shopping this area, and then gradually pushing as we start seeing more occupancy base. So here, I do want to focus on pushing ADR since we have been seeing a little bit lower ADR pickup, but I think as we get closer, we'll see some of that stronger bar-based pickup here. So I'm not too worried. We're in really great shape. I think as we hit that official 30-day booking pattern, we'll start to see a lot stronger pickup. I was anticipating to see stronger pickup after the Super Bowl to get some more hype into the NFL draft, but really haven't been seeing a strong pickup. So I don't think a lot of it's going to be further out. I think a lot of it's going to be very last-minute mobile pickup, just because customers have been trained that their best rates are going to be through mobile platforms and very last minute. So really want to make sure that those rates are competitive, that we're keeping high. We're working with travel ads, making sure that we're announcing that out through those channels as well, and bidding to stay competitive on Expedia page listings. And lastly, my third property, it's right next to my second property, but its brand and brand scale are a little bit lower than the second property, so I can't necessarily push my rates as high. I always make sure that the second property is higher than this third property. So here, I can't necessarily work as much with length of stay pricing. So here, more so discussing with my operations team, specifically sales, is keeping an eye on group pickups. So something that I noticed a couple weeks back was that my IDOS was putting in a lot of group blocks since we were seeing quite a bit of requests for this weekend. I let my team know to be very careful with booking groups across very high demand periods, just because we are capable of getting much stronger ADR pickups. So I don't necessarily want to fill my base with too many low rated pickups. So we're focusing a lot on making sure that before the cutoff date that we are reaching out to these groups, making sure that they are going to pick up, and if they are not anticipating to pick up all the rooms that they had initially blocked for, that we're washing them and making sure that they're available. So similar pattern to my other two properties, that keeping my rates a little bit lower further out, trying to encourage people to book much farther out than they typically would. That way we don't reward people for booking last minute, and we're gradually pushing as we get closer. So mainly here is just keeping an eye out, building that strong base, making sure that we are keeping a track of those group pickups. But this comp says shopping really high across the board. I do anticipate them dropping last minute, so I'm not too worried about their rates. They are much higher than us, so we are a desirable property in this market. So really just want to keep an eye out. I know that this couple weeks since pickup hasn't been as strong, but I would love to do a follow-up after the NFL draft to see how we picked up. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that strategy after. Thank you, guys.